Hey guys, it's Felicia with Felicia in Medicine. We're back again with another video. So today is Wednesday, September the 2nd. I'm currently on my psychiatry rotation, but I have to catch you up with my pediatric rotations and how that went. Now, my pediatric rotation was for the month of August. It was 4 weeks long and it was two-week sessions. Now, I must say that the first 2 weeks were super exciting. I was placed into the pediatrics emergency department for the first 2 weeks, and the last 2 weeks I was in a outpatient pediatrics clinic. My hours differed tremendously. In the emergency room, I was in my shift was from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. and for the outpatient setting, my hours were from 9 a.m. to about 4. Now, a common theme that was found in both settings, I must say, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of crying. But I feel like for my first 2-week rotation, being on pediatrics emergency department, I pretty much was assessing 2 specialties at the same time, analyzing and observing the fast-pacedness of emergency medicine as well as pediatrics. So that was pretty interesting to see how the emergency room functions and work and how team-oriented that specialty looks to me so far. Also, for the peds emergency department, what I really enjoyed was just to see the resilience of the little kids, to see kids come in, due to lacerations, injuries, foreign objects, things like that, for them to come in scared, nervous, and by the end of your procedure, they're laughing, they're telling you a joke, they're telling you about how they're going to go home and play their Xbox. Was pretty cool to see because you don't really see that typically when people come into a healthcare setting, you know, especially in the emergency room. So that was pretty uplifting. Every shift to me was pretty exciting. Learning something new. I feel like my learning grew tremendously from family medicine over into this rotation, just because there was a lot of reviewing of labs that I got to do with my attendings, as well as going in to interview my patients by myself, which I did at family medicine, but having more of a handle of figuring out what type of plan that I wanted to do and have attendings really have me present to them, present what I wanted to do, and actually document and go with my plan was pretty cool. Getting more autonomy like that was really exciting. One thing about the emergency room that I was able to visualize is that it's a very team-oriented specialty field to see. There was a lot of consults that we were doing. Mainly, I would say, while I was there, was psych and ortho. Another trend is that in the emergency department, a lot of the attendings were saying, based on the season that you are there, you will see a certain type of caseload, I would say. So for during the summertime, there's a lot of orthopedic injuries, things of that, because the kids are home and they're really active, versus in the winter and the fall, it's more of your respiratory issues, your flus, things like that. So that was interesting to know how that can differ based on the season that you're there. I really enjoyed, in comparison to family medicine, being able to get information in real time. So a patient comes in, you think, hey, they may have this diagnosis, and you're able to do labs, you're able to do procedures, you're able to do x-rays and ultrasounds and all those things to either rule something in or rule something out, and find out right there if that person actually has that, which was pretty cool. Compared to family medicine or anything where it's more of a clinic setting, you have to tend to refer your patient out for those things and then wait to see if it is. So seeing that in the emergency room was pretty cool. That instant gratification was nice. A lot of procedures, a lot of lacerations. One of the coolest lacerations for me was seeing a young child, a laceration to the head, which is the skull. So that was super interesting and cool, things like that. So you never really knew what you were going to see. So after my 2 weeks in emergency room, I then transitioned to the outpatient setting, and we mainly focused on well visits. So that excitement level was a little decreased for me, because once you see one well visit, for me, you almost saw them all. But the focus of those well visits, we would have newborn checks come in, so mainly maybe weight checks we wanted to watch, as well as a lot of the immunizations that children get within their first year of life. So your 2 months, your 4 months, your 6 months, your 9-month visits, thing like that, and your 1-year-old visits. And the main thing that I thought was really cool to see is just basically being able to witness the different developmental milestones that the children are supposed to reach at a particular time. And so that was a lot of the key focus of those visits, is to make sure that you're talking to the parents and make sure that, hey, are they doing certain things that they're supposed to be doing or expected to be doing, just in case you needed to allocate certain resources for them, as a support to help the children reach that developmental stage. Another thing I would say in pediatrics, there's a lot of reassuring patients that parents, I should say, that something is normal or it's expected. There was a lot of that. For me, what I found is that in the beginning, I was a little nervous working around with the newborns. I think a lot of people are initially nervous to work with the newborns just because they're so small and fragile. But one of my attendings was able to show me exactly how to maneuver them, and then you get into a handle of it. It's easy to manipulate the newborns in certain positions. It's really easy versus a crying toddler. And for me, I would say that 2 to 5 year old period I wasn't really a fan. It's a lot of crying. They don't want to participate in the exams. It's a lot. And another thing with pediatrics, there's a lot of creative ways that you need to or suggested to do your exams to make sure that the patients are comfortable, that you have to really build a rapport. So you want to show them the instruments. You want to, like, if it's the light, the otoscope, the ophthalmoscope, you want to kind of like show it to them, touch it, let them realize that it's not sharp, it's not going to hurt, engage in the parents. Maybe you do it on the parent part of the exam so the kids see that it's okay and it's safe. And then of course at the end of each visit you want to give a sticker like, hey, good job. And for me, my favorite part in the outpatient clinic was working really with the adolescent patients, working with the older children. For me, they were easier to work with. Also, it was exciting to see, certain things that they were interested in, or new activities that they were part of, and just seeing that independence that they're developing for themselves was pretty cool, as well as also seeing how the attendings had relationships with these patients and delivered a lot of them, and now they're like 15 and 16 years old, so having that relationship component was pretty. But for me, between those two rotations, the emergency department was my favorite experience in pediatrics. Also, again, for the shelf exam, how I prepared, or my COMAT, I should say, it was mainly the Master the Boards book that I showed you guys last time, and just reading on the entire pediatric section, as well as doing practice questions. Again, I didn't finish all of the questions, and watching high yield videos associated with pediatrics on YouTube. I found that to be extremely helpful when doing practice questions and actually taking my COMAT. So I have to wait on those results. Oh, and by the way, your girl passed her family shelf. So I am super excited with that. I'm excited to be on psych. It's very interesting, we should say. I will update you guys on that. But that's pretty much my experience for pediatrics. Are we saying Philly TM medicine is going into pediatrics? Kids are cool. I just don't know if it's for Philly T. So thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you guys watching this video, and you know what to do. Tell a friend to do what? Subscribe and watch Philly TM medicine. Duh. Bye.